Alright guys, this video is going to focus on results and how to maximize your results, and also why results are so freaking important to your life and every life in general. Most people just do not really have any plans in their lives, they do not focus on results or anything. They just basically hang around, lounge around, and hope that someone's going to take care of them or their business and their monthly paychecks for them. But that's unfortunately not how things are supposed to work realistically, If you want to get out of the rat race, you definitely have to focus on results, and you definitely have to focus on what you want to achieve. Let's say, like I have described in one of my previous videos, let's compare a guy who works at McDonald's as a burger flipping dude with a guy who's running the store, Both guys have at some point flipped burgers, but one of them is now in the position of manager while the other one is still in the position of burger flipping dude. I have asked, why is that? It's always because some people focus on results and improving, while other people just do not. Some people are just not interested in improving and focusing on their bottom line effectivity and their outcomes. They instead just focus on their daily routines and just focus on getting it over with and getting it done. Another thing that I've thought about was motivation, and one of my videos is actually on that topic. What type of person is the most motivated person? Let me tell you what I think is the case, and I'm pretty convinced about that. It's the person who is focused on results. It's the person who has a goal in mind. A person who doesn't have a goal in mind doesn't really have a motive. Try to uncover a crime, you always look for someone who's got a motive, Someone who had a reason to do it, to get it done. The result is very closely tied to the motive. That is why goals are so important, and why one of my recent videos was about that exact topic. In other words, goals. I've discussed three things: goals, motivations, and results. Now let's go a step further. How can you personally use the power of results in your life to motivate yourself? Just look at, let's say, going for a run. If I was to say to you, you've been lazy all day, now go for a run, you'd probably be like, what the hell, man? Can't be asked, Or something along those lines. But realistically speaking, the best thing you could do probably is go for a run, because it would increase your oxygen levels, it would make you feel better, you would generally be healthier after doing it. And that is precisely how you can trick your brain. You can use those results and tell your brain, I'm going to increase my oxygen levels, instead of saying, I'm going to go for a run. So again, that kind of utilizes motivation in a different way. The person who is focused on just going for a run is never going to be as motivated as someone who is focused on the result of running, which is an oxygen increase in your body. By saying, I'm going to increase my oxygen levels, you will be 100 times more motivated to go for that run, because you know exactly the outcome of that run, and you know that it's going to bring you advantages that others are simply not going to have, and that you wouldn't have if you wouldn't go and get it done. Motivation and results are very, very closely tied together, and you really should focus on your results most of the time if you want to be motivated. Now, as I've also discussed in one of my recent videos, it's very important to graphically track your results and to have them in front of you visually. Why is that so important? The reason is that you can simply keep track of them for a longer period of time than the ordinary person. Like I often say, most people just do not really care. And it's true, most people don't. That's not because they don't want to, it's usually because our mental capacities are very limited. And in order to achieve a state where you can really care and manage your life at a high level, you have to be able to see what's going on in your life. And one of those tools that you can use are graphs, such as, let's say, an Excel spreadsheet that you can turn into a statistics graph, which then allows you to have a better overview over your life's progress and the results that you're getting. And that also allows you to specifically say how and when you want to increase some of your results in what area. You can basically precisely target your results if you can manage to have them in front of you visually. So that is definitely something I absolutely recommend, and something I discussed in one of my recent videos. And to sum up, make sure that you focus on results most of all. Make sure that you base all of your motivations on results. Then you will kind of trick your brain and make it jump across that barrier that tells you not to do something because it's too hard or whatever. Make sure that you have all your results in front of you graphically and visually. Track them at least every few days. Just get started and let me know how it goes. Thank you. Bye bye.